Good morning and welcome, everyone. I hope that you all are well this morning. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get started right around 10:03, but we want to welcome you this morning. Please do not use the chat or the question and answer component at this point. We're going to give you an opportunity to answer all your questions. You can either come off mute or you can put them in a question and answer component once we're completed with the presentation. So as the presentation is going on, we encourage you to take notes and write your questions down, and then you'll be able to come off mute and ask those questions live, or you'll be able to type them in the chat or Q&A, and then we'll get an answer for you. We'll try to share that with everybody, so we're answering everybody's questions. If you are a young person, a student that's looking for training, and you're not a business owner, then this is the wrong webinar for you. We had a lot of students incorrectly registered to attend. We want to make sure you get to the right place. This particular webinar is only for business owners, non-for-profits that are located in the city of Chicago. If you are a young person and you're looking for training, we put in the chat earlier that you need to reach out to Maria Gonzalez at eesforjobs.com. Let her know you are looking for employment or you're looking for training, and she will guide you. This particular event today is only for people who are business owners, non-for-profits, who have their business or organization located in the city of Chicago. If you are a business owner and your business is not located in the city of Chicago, this also you would not be eligible for this particular grant. No, this is not WIOA. So if you go scroll all the way up at the top of your chat, you'll see a email for Maria Gonzalez, who can tell you all about the WIOA program and get you signed up with the WIOA program. Okay, it's been put back in the chat. Please, if you are a student, you don't have to sit through this webinar. It doesn't apply to you. Maria Gonzalez information was just put in the chat again. Please email her, let her know you're interested in the WIOA program or training programs, and they will give you the information you need. For employers, I mean, this is for employers. So if you're an employer, we definitely want you to stay on and get the information, and then you can email us later if you're looking for additional information. But this information today is about the Workforce Solutions grant and how businesses, non-for-profits can apply for the grant. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all for being here this morning. We have a representative from the city of Chicago with the Department of Planning and Development, and he's going to address you all now. His name is Mr. David Diaz.
Thanks, Audrey. Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, my name is David Diaz, and I help to manage the Workforce Solutions program with the city's Department of Planning and Development. We want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend today's webinar and to become acquainted with our program. We understand that running a business comes with unique challenges, from staying competitive in a fast-growing market to attracting and retaining skilled workers. And that is one of the reasons why this program and grant are so important. They are designed to help you stretch your training budget further by reimbursing up to 100% of eligible training costs for current employees and new hires, with a maximum grant award of up to $250,000. Whether you're growing your team or helping current staff to learn new skills, this program makes workforce development more affordable. The Workforce Solutions Program is an enhanced iteration of a legacy program. Over the past few years, we've made significant improvements that will allow us to support more businesses across the city. And in that effort, joining us today is our program administrator, employment and employer services, who'll be walking us through the presentation. If you've had the pleasure of working with them before, you know firsthand how valuable they are in supporting Chicago's small business community. They will be instrumental in guiding applicants through the application process and ensuring smooth project management. Additionally, please do not hesitate to reach out to DPD directly and use our office as a resource. We're happy to support your business and we're ready to listen and offer any support in any way we can. Thank you again for being here today, and I'll now turn it over to Anissa Jones, Senior Vice President for E&ES.
Great. Thank you so much, David. Good morning, everyone. As David mentioned, my name is Anissa Jones, and I'm a Senior Vice President of Employment and Human Services with Employment and Employer Services. We're very grateful to be here today with the Chicago Department of Planning and Development as the City of Chicago's Program Administrator for the Workforce Solutions Program. A little bit about our organization. We were founded in 1983, and we've been in business for over 40 years, supporting local Chicago businesses and community residents. We're very dedicated to advancing the economic foundation of communities by providing a skilled workforce, and we're really excited to work with nonprofits and businesses to help them achieve their goal of upskilling and supporting their workforce through the Workforce Solutions Program. Our role, as David mentioned, will be to oversee the day-to-day operations of the Workforce Solutions Program and work very closely with each of you throughout the full life cycle of the grant, from the application process to the full execution of the training and services that you need. We are committed to helping and working with Chicago organizations and businesses across all sectors and hoping to help them strengthen their workforce through this much needed training and upskilling. Thank you again for attending today, and I'll now turn the presentation back over to Audrey Johnson, who is our program director.
Hello again, everyone. I'm excited to have you all here to learn about Workforce Solutions grants. So we'll go through the presentation, hold your questions until then. So Workforce Solutions. We want to do an overview of what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about what is Workforce Solutions, eligibility and funding. We're going to give you some examples under the grant calculator. We're going to talk about ineligible businesses that are not eligible for the program, business location and how that plays into it, the application process, reimbursement, visit and monitoring, closeout steps, frequently asked questions, additional resources, and then we're going to go into our Q&A. Next slide. What is Workforce Solutions? Workforce Solutions grant covers qualified training. And I'm going to key in on the word training. Training for your current employees to upscale and new hire training, which is on-the-job training. You can do leadership development, technology skills, and so much more. It's based on what you need in the way of training. Workforce Solutions reimbursement grants are funded through two different areas with the City of Chicago. One is the Tax Increment Financing. I know you all have heard of TIF funding, or proceeds from the Housing and Economic Development Bond, which is also referred to as bond funding. Grants may fund up to 100% of eligible expenses for business seeking to train, there's that word again, to train current employees and or new hires. Some of the eligibility requirements: you must be located in, expanding into, or relocating to the City of Chicago. Workforce training must be for permanent full-time or permanent part-time staff, not temporary staff. Commitment to remain in the community area for at least 3 years. You must be financially prepared to support training costs, which means you pay for the training costs upfront and then you're reimbursed for those amounts. $250,000 grant limits with 3-year waiting period after the limit is reached. Who's eligible? Non-for-profits, this is great for you. Food service, tourism, hospitality, healthcare and life sciences, manufacturing and industry, information technology, real estate, finance, insurance, retail, energy, education and training, transportation, distribution and logistics, and so much more. Of course, this is not an all-inclusive list. So if you have an industry that you have a question about, please reach out to me. I will let you know if it's an eligible industry or not. What will Workforce Solutions fund? The Workforce Solutions Program can fund training. See, I said training. It's all about training. Training for your current employees. You'll hear us say incumbent employees. Incumbent is your current staff, the people who already work for you. But we also will fund new hire on-the-job training, but they must be Chicago residents only. Leadership development. Instructional wages, trainer fees that you get third-party trainers to come in and train your staff, we will pay for those fees. Training and supplies materials are limited to very specific things needed for the training, like a workbook or things of that nature. Training of rental of equipment, if you needed to rent a piece of equipment to do training on, and customized training curriculum. So just an overview of how the funding works. The Workforce Solutions is a reimbursement grant program. That means you pay for your costs up front. The city returns those funds to you for up to 100% of total eligible costs. And the maximum any one grant can write for is $250,000. But you want to write for what fits your organization. If you are an organization that's up to 1 million in annual sales, or you have 40 full-time staff, you could be eligible for 100% of your eligible costs to be met. If you are a not-for-profit, any non-for-profit functioning in the city of Chicago, you would be eligible for 100% of your eligible costs to be covered. So I want to break down the matching funds, right? So in the first scenario, if you are up to 5 million in annual sales, if you have a maximum of 125 full-time employees that are currently on staff with you, you would meet the 25% contribution. Is it that you're giving 25% of financial money? No, it's saying that you're going to match that in support of your training program. Well, how do you match that? It could be wages for staff that you use in organizing and setting up your training. It can be materials and supplies that you pay for as an employer. It could be wages that you're paying for staff to go and sit in training. All of that is money that you're contributing to training, so that can help you meet your 25% or your 50%. You had a 50% contribution if you exceed 5 million in annual sales and you have more than 125 full-time employees. Again, you can utilize things that you're paying for to have your people go to training, for materials and things that you pay for training. All of that can show how you've met your match contribution. So let's look at it on the case basis of a real organization. So Lori has submitted an application to us with Workforce Solutions, and she's in an open funded area. Her proposal is for $100,000, and she's doing training only for her incumbent workers, which is her current staff. She wants to upscale them and give them a certain type of certification. Over the past 3 years, Lori's hospitality business has grossed over 4 million in annual sales. So based on her 4 million, she's above the 1.5, but she's under the 5 million. This would make her a 25% contribution. So she has to show us, as a part of the grant, to get her $100,000, that she has to show us her 25% contribution and match funds. So Workforce Solutions can be granted to her at the 100,000, and then she shows us her matching funds. This scenario is for the 50% contribution. So this is another example where Sam has submitted his application in a funded area. He proposed that he's going to do training that will cost him $200,000 for his 20 current employees, again, incumbent training. He's in manufacturing, and his company currently employs over 250 employees. So this is more than 125. So that puts him at a 50% contribution. He writes the grant for 200,000. He has to do a 50% business match. He shows us how he's matching that $100,000, but he's granted the $200,000. And then in the next scenario, we're going to be looking at examples of zero match, where you don't have to show a match at all because of where you fall financially. So Jessica is writing a grant. She's also in an eligible funded area. Her non-for-profit organization serves as a homeless shelter throughout the city. She is proposing training for a total eligible cost of $125,000. Now, she's going to do both. She's going to do training for her incumbent workers. She's also going to do on-the-job trainer and hire 2 new hires. And then over the last 3 years, she has grossed only $450,000. So on 2 fronts, she fit the zero match example. All non-for-profits will be zero match, but she's also under the 1.5 million. So that would also put her in a zero match. So the breakdown is she writes the grant for 125, she's funded at 125, she is not required to show a match requirement. And that's for anybody under 1.5. There are some businesses that are ineligible for this grant. So if you're a big chain business like Walmart or Walgreens, you wouldn't be able to apply. Branch banks, employment agencies, religious worship institutions, currency exchanges, payday loan stores, pawn shops, astrology, palm reading stores, K-12 schools, gas station, residential-based or home-based businesses are ineligible. Online-only businesses are also ineligible. Liquor stores, bars, nightclubs, smoke shops, cigar lounges, adult uses, firearms stores, shooting ranges, massage parlors, hotels and motels, residential storage warehouse, track waging facilities, trailer storage yards, junkyards. Again, this is not an all-inclusive list, so please, if you have a question about your business, call us and let us know, and we'll let you know if you're eligible or not. Business location is important. We currently have 27 funded TIF areas. These districts, you can see the map here that kind of gives you a color for each one of those 27 areas. We're kind of covering the city. But if you fall outside those 27 district areas, you could be eligible for what's called bond funding. So you could come out of the TIF funding, or you could come out of bond funding. Bond funding will be open starting February 1st. This is funding, same application process, but funding for people who don't fall into those TIF districts. So you want to get your applications in by February 1st. If you're looking for bond funding, do not apply before February 1st. Make sure you apply after February 1st. Businesses outside of these districts are encouraged to contact us for guidance. So if you do want next steps, or you're not sure if you're in a TIF or not, outside of a TIF, after this presentation, please send me an email. Say, Ms. Johnson, can you check my business address and let me know if I'm in a TIF area or if I file a bond, so you would know exactly when to apply. So currently, these are our business locations, and keep in mind, they're not in its totality. The 119th and Halston TIF is cut out in that community. It's not everything that's in that area. So that's why we want you, again, I encourage you all to send me your addresses and let us check to see if you're in one of these TIF areas or if you would be in bond. But this is the list of the 27 that are currently funded. 119th and Halsted, 119th and 157, 35th and Halsted, 47th Ashland, 47th and Halsted, 47th and King Drive, 47th and State, 71st and Stony Island, 79th and Vincennes, 87th and Cottage Grove. The Austin Commercial TIF, Avalon Park, South Shore, Bronzeville, Chicago Central Park, Commercial Avenue, Elston Armstrong, Inglewood Neighborhood. Now it says Inglewood Neighborhood. I'm going to add to that Inglewood Neighborhood TIF, because it's not just because you're in Inglewood, you're automatically funded. We need to check your address. The city has a clearinghouse. They will let us know which area you fall into. Fullerton, Milwaukee, Greater Southwest East, Kenzie Industrial Corridor, Lawrence Broadway, Pulaski Corridor, Roseland, Michigan, Stevenson, Brighton, Washington Park, West, Woodline, Woodline. We're looking to open more in the future. So still, if you think this grant is important to you and you need training or you want upscaling or you're going to be doing some hiring, you want to apply. Not in a TIF district, that's okay. Apply, and E&ES will discuss options for potential funding opportunities with you. You're in a TIF district, but it's not currently funded. Not a problem. We still want you to put your application in. You may not be currently eligible for Workforce Solutions, but you'll be in the pipeline by your application being submitted. And when those areas become funded, we will reach out to you and let you know. All are welcome to apply. If you think that upscaling your current staff, taking them to a higher level, and that training is needed for your employee, this grant is good for you. If you know that you're getting ready to hire 2, 3, 5 people in this coming year, you want to be up under the grant and get that bonus, that benefit back for hiring Chicago residents. So here is a copy of the Workforce Solutions website page. We're going to give you this information at the end of the presentation, but you would go here. This is exactly how it looks. And where you see policy and procedure manual, that's good information about the whole process that you can read. But you want to look here where it says submit application. You would click on that. It automatically takes you out to the submittable platform. Submittable platform is a platform where grants can be written. It'll take you into the grant. You can create a password and a login. Next slide. So here, this is the submittable website page that it takes you out to. If you have a account already, all you have to do is put your password and log in, and it'll take you to the Workforce Solutions grant. Or if you're doing it for the first time on submittal, you would create your own account and then create your password and log in. And that takes you right into the grant application. You can preview those questions. You can start working on them and getting your application done. We can see your application in draft form. So always reach back out to our staff. Make sure we look over your application, make sure that it's ready to go before you hit submit. The initial application process to determine if you're eligible takes about 1 to 2 weeks to complete. So I'm going to walk through this, kind of fast, but it gives you somewhat of a timeline. Of course, things are subject to change. Bond funding applications, their times are going to vary as well, but this is basically the application process. Step 1, after submitting application, the applicant is notified of your eligibility. Right? And that happens in about 1 to 2 weeks. Step 2, applicants proceed with submitting the required documents. We're going to go over that list later. There are required documents that you're going to have to make sure are in line to apply for this grant. That takes about 1 to 2 weeks. And that is more dependent on you than us, because when we are trying to get your documents approved, you're going to have to supply those documents that we need to move you forward. Once documents are reviewed and approved, E&ES will send what's called the recipient agreement. This is like the beginning of your contract. You need to review it and sign it. That whole process of review and everything and getting your recipient agreement takes about 3 to 4 weeks. Step 4, applicant submits and executes their recipient agreement. That can happen in a day. And then applicant is notified that contract has been executed and processed. And then we're going to send you the conditional award letter. Once you get the conditional award letter, that tells you how much funds you're being approved for and that you can start your training. One of the more time-sensitive steps in the beginning, after you're approved for eligibility, is scofflaw and indebtedness check. This is an approval process. There's 3 different documents that you have to submit. There's a compliance with child support laws. There's a verifying that there's no debt owed to the city for any other past business transactions. And there's an economic disclosure statement. Please note, applicants with outstanding City of Chicago debt will be required to resolve the debt or demonstrate significant progress towards resolution before the application can move forward. Required documentation. We talked about this a little earlier. These are types of documentation that you're going to submit. You're going to get a training needs assessment from us. You're going to complete that as a part of the application process. Proof of revenue, 3 years of financial documentation, certificate of insurance, you get from your insurance company. We need to make sure that your requirements meet the city's requirements. Program policy and procedure. I just showed you the policy and procedure manual. You're going to read that and send us a sheet signing off that you've completed that. Economic disclosure statement. You go out and you fill out at the city level, and then you submit us a copy of that statement. Principal profile was on your key principal people of your organization, normally the owner or CEO. Child support affidavit. This is a part of indebtedness. It's a form you fill out that we send you. Copy of your business license, whether you're a non-for-profit or a business. If you don't have a business license, you're going to have to provide us with a letter of exemption for non-for-profits and a letter of good standing. Monitoring protocol requirements. Arch banking information. We want to be able to put your reimbursement right into your bank account. Training curriculum schedule. So when you're doing incumbent training and you've got a third-party trainer, you're going to have to get this from them. You're going to get a quote of how much the training is going to cost. You're going to get curriculum from them. You're going to get a schedule from them. You're going to get a resume of their trainers, and you're going to get references of different companies that they've trained in the past. Right? All of that is vital to you getting with the organization that you're working with. And then for new hires, we're going to need job descriptions. Reimbursement for eligible costs. So now we're at the point you approve, you got your conditional award letter, you've paid for your trainers, and now you want to get your money back. So you are going to voucher, and documentation can be submitted for reimbursement. So after training sessions are what? 1, complete. Training providers are paid, or wages are paid for new hire employees. The frequency is incumbent worker trainings can submit up to 3 vouchers throughout your term of your contract. So with us, when you get approved, your contract term is for 1 year, and you have 3 different vouchers that you can submit to get your money back throughout that time period. Or the on-the-job training, which means you get 13 months of salary returned to you for the staff that you hired. Remember, they're your permanent part-time, permanent full-time people. But once they've made their first 3 months, you can actually get those funds back. Each month that they're working, you can apply to get those funds back, or you can apply on a quarterly basis. Up to you. Then there's also retention and closeout. So just to kind of get you to understand the reimbursement process, so documentation has submitted, there's some vouchering forms that have to be completed, invoices from your trainers, receipts that you've paid for, proof of payment, sign-in sheets for every training your staff attended, and pay stubs for every person who was working under the grant to show that their wages were paid, and now you're looking for the reimbursement. Step 2, that has to go through a review and approval process by both E&ES and DPD. Once that takes place, then reimbursement can be completed, processed, and then that money can be back to you in 6 to 8 weeks. But that depends on how accurate your documentation is. Visits and monitoring, we stay in touch with you throughout your contract year. So you agree to monitoring and check-ins, submission of required attendance and wage reports. We will schedule site visits and come out and observe training while it's taking place. The businesses needs to stay in the area they're funded in for at least 3 years after having the grant. Agree upon annual follow-up discussions for 3 years to discuss business needs post-training. Follow-ups can also include phone calls and/or emails. Closeout report and final vouchering documents must be completed when all training has been completed. So you can't get your reimbursement back until your different trainings that you have scheduled have all been completed. You've paid the trainer, then you can ask for the funds back. Training business goals will be noted at the start of the contract, and then at the end, we will be looking at those goals that you created at the beginning to see if you met them at the end of the contract. One of the things that's so great about this is that pending the grant agreement, applicants can get an extra 2% administration compensation on top of your grant costs. So that will be an additional 2% for completing all of your closeout reports. This is a list of our frequently asked questions. You're going to get this document as an attendee of this workshop. You're going to get this along with the deck of the whole presentation. You're going to get this video. So it's just more information to help you prepare to start writing the grant and get you moving on your way. Here are some additional resources for you. So while you're writing for the Workforce Solutions grant, you can also apply for these other grants that are available through the City of Chicago. There's the Small Business Improvement Fund, SBIF, this grant funding for permanent building improvements and repairs. Program participants can receive grants to cover between 30 and 90% of the cost of remodeling work, with a maximum grant of $150,000 for commercial properties and $250,000 for industrial properties. The Neighborhood Opportunity Fund, the NOF, leverages funds generated by new development in the Loop to support corridors in Chicago's underserved neighborhoods. The NOF provides grants for up to $250,000 for businesses and property owners to pay for construction or rehabilitation of properties that support new or expanding businesses of cultural asset. Community Development Grant, CDG, covers eligible new construction and renovation through proceeds from the 2024 Housing and Economic Development Bond and other fund sources. CDGs are available at 3 funding levels to support local, commercial, and light manufacturing projects via small, medium, and large grants. Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, the BACP, serves as a key resource. All Chicago businesses should be signed up with BACP. They offer a lot of guidance for businesses. They provide free training. They provide webinars throughout the year to support growth and compliance for our Chicago businesses. To learn more, you can visit them at chicago.gov/BACP. It has been my pleasure today to host you all. My name is Audrey Johnson. I am the program director for the Workforce Solutions Grant. Here is my phone number. Here is our Workforce Solutions website page and email. The email is where I want you all to send us your address. That will be your first step. Let's establish if you are located in a TIF area or would you be seeking funds under bond. Also, Lahia Alvarez, who is our coordinator of economic development, she works directly with David, who you heard from earlier today. You can reach out to her at the City of Chicago. You can reach out to the Workforce Solutions website page where we saw the submit button. That's here too. That's the HTTPS right up on the Workforce Solutions. So we are excited to get all your questions answered today. We have over 30 minutes to be able to get to everybody. So what I'm gonna ask you all to do is, if you do have a question, you can go ahead and use the raise hand component, and we'll be able to see that you're raising your hand. And then I'm gonna call on you by name and ask you to come off mute so that you can ask your question. If you don't want to raise your hand and ask a question, please feel free. We have all of our support staff that's checking the chat, checking the Q&A, and responding to any of your questions there. And please, staff, if you see an important question that we want to read out loud to everybody, that would be great as well. Okay, Caitlin Sobek Kim. Come off of mute. Yep. And then ask your question.
Thank you. We're planning on posting 2 new jobs this year, and we always allow our part-time folks to apply to the full-time jobs that are posted. If a part-time current employee fills that role, would it still be eligible for the reimbursement on job training?
If they are W-2 staff and they go from a part-time position to a full-time position, they would not be able to qualify. So 1099 for this grant are considered not employees, right? Because they're independent contractors. So if they were going from a 1099 status to a W-2 status with you, that could be covered under the program. But if they are a W-2 that's just continuing to work with you at a different level, they would not qualify as a new hire. A new hire would be somebody identified who's never worked for your company before, or that worked for your company, like what is it called? One Summer Chicago. Once I'm in Chicago, the city is paying for them to be on your payroll. So they're not really working for you. And that's temporary. They're not a permanent employee. So if you were trying to take one of those students and then turn them into a permanent employee, then yes, you would be able to claim them. But it really is for new hires that's kind of really never worked for the company before.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. And can we have Luanzer Quince? Did I say it right? The first name, Luanzer. You can come off mute. Hi, Luanzer. Go ahead and ask your question. Are you there? I see your mic moving, but I don't hear anything. Okay, Luanzer, we'll come back to you. Let's go to Newton Moore. Newton, can you come off mute and ask your question?
I just muted. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you? And I can see your picture. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for the meeting today. Very informative. I just had a question, and this is because I'm currently working for a university, and we specialize in computer science. So we train people, mostly adults, networking certifications, cybersecurity certifications, etc. I know this grant would not be for a university, but if you are partnering with a small business, as we do, how do we work with you as a consortium to work with small businesses to either train their employees, if they're receiving this money, as a provider for the training? Because not all small businesses have the laboratories, equipment, faculty expertise to do this in high growth areas like cybersecurity or artificial intelligence. So how do we work with that? I'm just curious. Do
I
you
definitely
have a
think
pipeline for
because
that?
you are a partner and not an employee of those businesses, you can definitely be their trainer. You can be their third party trainer. They cannot train themselves. So a small business can not be like, oh, well, I'm gonna train my staff and then the city is going to reimburse you for that. That's not allowed. But when a business has a relationship with qualified trainers, with the people who have the ability to give them the certification, to give them the training, they can hire the university to do the training that's needed for their staff. And then the employer has to pay the trainer first, and then they'll be reimbursed all of those funds. But you have to negotiate with them what they can afford to complete the training.
So
Because
how do
since it's
we identify?
reimbursement,
how do we,
Mhm.
I understand that you're reimbursing the
Mhm.
employer, but how do we identify employers who are receiving this grant or thinking about planning for a grant like this? The reason why I bring up the question, because they may want to do this, but if they don't have a training provider in certain areas, they may say, oh, forget it. I don't know how we're going to do it. So how do we get involved early enough to know and identify employers who are thinking about taking this route?
I have the perfect solution for you, Newton. So, uh, in about a month or maybe less than that, we're actually launching a trainer application. So this is for we as the city in a so where we're E&ES working along with the city as the administrator are trying to put together a list of accredited vetted sources of trainers and create a list that'll be shared with everybody who applies for the grant. So, great question. It's coming very soon. I will tell you to keep an eye out for the Workforce Solutions website page because it's going to launch very soon here, where we're trying to capture those qualified trainers and put them in one place so people who are looking to write the grant can utilize that as a great resource.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I'll keep monitoring that site and hopefully find out more about the program. I do have
And
another question.
definitely one more thing too, the businesses that you're already working with, definitely introduce them to the grant, have them send me an email with their locations, and we can already start, my team can start working with them to get them
Excellent.
ready to start writing the grant.
That's great because we're trying to facilitate quick credentials for industry. They already have experience. They don't need to go through 4 or 5 years of training to get what they need. They're already doing this
Mhm.
stuff. They just may want the credential, right? So
Right.
we want to help
Correct.
them reach those goals, and having this grant and working with businesses could help that. The other question I have is about students themselves. We have a number of students from diverse backgrounds. um, can they also participate in industry? And so I'm just wondering, how does that work? Do you have a
So for
program?
this grant, we don't. This grant is specifically for um employers and non-for-profits in the city of Chicago who want to upscale their current staff. So if those students are not working for employers who are writing a grant, this wouldn't apply for them. But E&ES as a business, you can send me an email separately. And we actually work with WIOA program, training programs, employment programs. So if you have students who would want to partner with E&ES so that they can get the credentials and things that they need, that's a separate conversation. So I'm going to say, my email information is here. Send me an email and we can talk about that offline.
Sounds great. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much. I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to try to go back to LaWanza Quince, if you can come off of mute. We'll try one more time to see if you are available. Go ahead and ask your question. Okay, LaWanza might not be there. So we'll keep moving. I see a few more hands. Let's go to Janaea Brown. Janae Brown.
Okay, now I see it. I'm like, I can't see my mic.
That's okay. They're managing from the back of the house.
Oh, okay. So, my question is about the trainer and hiring
Mhm.
a trainer. Um, so we're a handyman maintenance company. Of course, we're a small business. And I am looking into finding so would this grant, if would it be a school that we would take them to? I guess the trainer part, I'm just kind of
Yeah,
fogging on
that
how to find
I
it.
will say the whole purpose that we're trying to put a list of qualified trainers across industry together is because it is the work of the on the business right now to know what your needs are and to try to find them. So I don't know that much about your business, but I know maybe safety with chemicals or safeties with different things might be beneficial. Certain certificates that you might have as far as using chemicals and stuff could be helpful too the business. So it's yes, there we do have some resources, but again, it would be on the business to reach out to try to find those organizations or those what do you call them, contractors or consultants that do that type of training and negotiate with them like what you can afford, because it's reimbursement. You know, everybody's like, oh, 250,000, but you don't want to, if you can't put out 250,000 and then
Right.
wait to get your money back through reimbursement, that's kind of a waste of your refund, your funds. So you want to be intentional. These are important. I need AI training. I need QuickBooks training for my financial people. I need
Now,
marketing training so we can get out what we're doing, or it could be very industry specific. But it is the
yeah.
work of you to try to find local Chicago organizations and trainers who would do that.
So it would be because like Kennedy College, or there are some schools, I know, I guess that does skill trade training,
Mhm.
but handyman is basically we're above the do it yourself, and we're a little bit below the skill trade. So it's understanding and have the knowledge of a lot of the various trades. So, okay.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that because like you cannot use this grant to pay for somebody to go to school, right? Like to go sign up at a university and get credit courses or anything like that. You can talk to your local community colleges to see if they have instructors who are certified and things like that that can come on site or have sometimes set up where they're doing training specifically for you. And just to give you an example, we recently was working with a beauty shop who needs to upscale the training of her staff, and we were able to talk to Dudley's school to have, you know, specific training laid out for their individuals so that they could attend or either have that trainer come out to their location. So I'm saying there is a little work to be done on your end to try to find people and have those discussions with them to try to make sure that it fits your needs. And you know, all training doesn't have to result in a certification. It can be just experience as well. So that's why professional development and things like that are approved as well. But you have those conversations with those third party trainers and try to get them to fit what you can afford, and then you can get those funds that you pay out returned to you through the grant.
So the other question is, you said that our company couldn't train, like our
Yeah,
uh,
the city will not pay you to train your own people who you can train anyway, right?
right,
So
yeah,
that's why so it has to be a third party, and we vet your trainers, even if, and they can't be people who work for your company either. They literally have to be third party people who are not working under you or at your company, because the city feels like you have those resources. You could train your people a year ago, 6 months ago. You have all of that internally. What they're trying to do is give you something you don't have, give you something that's going to upscale you as a business to a higher level by
right,
using qualified trainers.
right, yeah. Because my thinking would be it would be hiring um the high schooler, or hiring people that are very novice and then training them, because we make sure the people that we hire are very skilled. So, but it's just hard
Right.
to find them.
Right. And I understand it. That's why I think the grant can be helpful. But keep one thing in mind when it comes to the OJT training part of the grant, where we're paying for we're remember, we're not paying for the salary of a new hire. We're
Mhm.
only giving employers a bonus to somebody that you're hiring already. So if you knew you were going to hire 3 people this year, as someone said earlier, you know that you're going to hire these people and bring them on staff. How nice would it be if they're a full-time person at $20 an hour, that you would get $10,400 back for them? How often is it that you ever get any salary back for people that you hired? But I want to be clear, because a lot of people misunderstand this grant and think that we're paying for this person's salary for a year. That's not what it is. It is a bonus to insert money back into the trade or into the business by covering those salaries for the first 3 months. which is on the job training, why you're teaching them, why they're learning day by day, showing up. You can voucher at the end of every month, or you can voucher every 3 months and get those salaries back for those people as they complete the first 3 months of training.
Okay.
So if you
Thank
can't figure, you can do both. You can do incumbent training. That's only for people who are currently on your payroll.
Hello?
You can do on the job training if you're going to be planning on hiring anyway.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Anything in the question and answer or
Yeah, this is
chat?
Lawanza Quince. Can you hear me?
Lawanza, where have you been?
I ran some malware programs yesterday on my computer, so it, reconfigured settings and all of that. Please accept my apologies for
No
and
problem.
your persistence in wanting to speak with me today.
Yes. How can I help you?
Okay, this is the reason for my, question. I'm developing an analytical chemistry laboratory. I participate in a lot of the world's mining conferences where they mine metal from out of the ground, from London to Miami. Anyway, I'm going to have it over at IIT, where I used to be on staff in their chemistry and chemical engineering department. And so for new startups like I'm developing, would I be eligible to receive such a workforce development grant and participate in the TIP programs and all that sort of thing?
Well, I guess I have a few questions.
Yes.
Would you be like, as a part of you being a startup? Yes, for sure, we support startups. But I'm curious, with the training that what you would be looking for, is it to hire new hires as a part of this, and then getting that reward of that salary returned to you, or would it be training that you need to go through? Because I'm assuming you're the only staff person right now as a
Yeah.
startup. So is it training that you're looking for yourself to help solidify the business?
Well, the general idea, Audrey, if I get your name correctly, the general ideal is to hire um, students who have relevant degrees in like computer science or laboratory training, um, and bring them in as employees, and then in turn receive grant money to reinvest in the business to, you know, promote more training for workers. That's the general idea.
And when you hire those individuals, you have some capital to be able to pay them for the year to keep them on staff. Because
Of
remember, this
course,
is for
yes.
permanent.
On the process of acquiring business loans and capital
Okay,
to pay for the business operations, buying equipment, as well as compensating new
the
hires and
staff.
employees.
Okay, yeah, we definitely can talk more details offline, but
Okay.
yes, for sure, if you're going to hire those people and you want to benefit from getting those funds back returned to you through reimbursement, I definitely think that that's a grant that you should consider writing and having that be covered under the grant, because you don't hire anybody when you're applying for the grant until you get your award letter and you're approved. Then you can hire those people, and then their salaries for those 3 months will be covered under the grant. As
Excellent.
you
Yeah, thank
pay
you.
them and they work, you'll
Avery
get reimbursed.
Johnson, that's your contact information.
Huh?
I see Audrey Johnson. Is that your contact information?
Yes. I don't know where you see that at though, but
It's
yeah.
inside of the chat. They gave me your email.
Oh, good. They gave you my email. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
and I
Or
also
you
have your
can,
telephone number too. So
yeah,
yeah,
or you can,
following this webinar session, I'll follow up and contact you to schedule a time where we can have a more in-depth conversation.
yeah, and most importantly, you can use this workforce solutions at E&ES for jobs.com too. That's my email as well. But most importantly, send me your business address. And I would
Okay.
say to anybody who's a startup, if you can have your business license already in play before you apply, because that's going to be one of the required documents that you have to have. So getting that process in place so that that doesn't hold you up is beneficial as too. But for sure, call me. We'll set up a virtual meeting. We'll go more into detail so that we can support you.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Hey, I think this has been a very productive dialogue and exchange, and I
Thank
look
you.
forward to working with both you, Audrey, as well as the workforce development staff towards, my business goals and efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. I do see another hand. We got about 5 more minutes left. So, Kalmita Coleman, if you can go ahead and ask your
Yeah.
question.
Thank you. Good morning. It's Calmetta.
Kalmeta, okay, how are
Just
you
a
today?
question, and I'm doing great. Thank you for this. It's been very informative. In terms of like professional development training or leadership development training, does that have to take place at, say our business location? I'm with the Chicago Urban League, or can it be at
Urban
the
League. That's my
that,
old employer back in the day.
all
Okay.
right then. Or could it be, so if we have a third party trainer that has their own facility where they do the training or leadership development training, can it take place there? Or
Yes. Yes.
okay,
So it's really up to you when you are making those conversations with your third party trainers. When you'll see in the application under 3.1, it'll ask you the name of the training, who's providing the training, but it also asks you to list the address where the training is going to be held. So that's where you communicating to us where the training is, because some training you might have that you needed to be on site, and that's fine, and some training could be off site. That's totally up
perfect.
to you all. You just inform us, because we do have to attend some trainings in person, so we know where we're going and what's going on with that. So
Excellent.
yes,
Thank you so much.
definitely.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
appreciate it.
look forward to you all coming in. I talked to you all months ago, the Urban
Listen,
League,
I was
about
glad
writing
to
this
see the
grant.
email. So
Yes,
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 thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you so much.
Hmm.
Let me see, any more hands up? I don't see any more. We are getting close to the end, but I want to give you our last chance. Okay, Miss Blanchard, Janice, go ahead. Oh, he trying to take you off mute now. Hold on. Janice Blanchard. Hi, Janice. Go ahead
Hello,
and ask your
hi,
question.
hi. So I'm Janice. I actually was asking my questions in the chat. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to let you guys know that I did email. I'm sorry for the background noise. I'm kind of like at my business right now. But I
No
have
problem.
two organizations. One is for profit and one is nonprofit. My nonprofit is an after school youth program, and then I have a
Mm-hmm.
for-profit childcare facility. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know, can I apply as a non-for-profit and have both of those programs trained for under the non-for-profit?
Where are they both located in the same facility?
No, I have two different locations.
So because they're two different businesses, one for profit, one non-for-profit, and they're two separate addresses, you want to apply for both in their areas, because depending on where they're located, one could be bond money, one could be TIF money. So send me the addresses of both of them. And then once I get the results back, I normally get the results back in a week from the
Okay.
city. Once I get the results back, then I'll communicate that to you. But in that case, you want to write these grants for the staff at those locations. So in the non-for-profit, you might need trauma-informed care for those
Yes.
staff, where you might need educational classes for your teachers in the daycare. So they could be completely different trainings that you're seeking for them. So we don't combine, even if a big non-for-profit like Metropolitan applied and they have 20 locations, they still would want to apply for the staffs in those TIF areas.
Okay. Okay. Because I was just inquiring about I know it's a match program. And with me being a non-for-profit, I was trying to see if I can apply under the non-for-profit or it has to
But
be
only for
separate.
the non-for-profit. If is your profit business over 1.5 million,
No.
so you still would not have a match. The match
Oh,
is for people who are between 1.5 million and 5 million under the
okay.
business. And you're right, non-for-profits, there's no match.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna
And
go
I
to.
did email my addresses over already.
Okay, great. We will get them checked and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have a great day.
Mhm.
We got 1 more minute. Let's take Denitra Griffin. Did I say it right? I
Hi, yes,
apologize
you
if I'm
did. Thank you.
mispronouncing y'all names. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
I can't see the mic. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you,
Yes,
Denitra.
thank you so much. My question was answered in the chat. It was regarding if the training provider had to be in the city of Chicago, and it
It's
was
best.
responded that it's best. But I also wanted to ask, would it add additional value being certified with the city of Chicago as a WBE and a MBE? Even though
That question is a part of the application process. So when you get to that question in the application, you would answer it appropriately. But the thing about it is that for this application, we let you self-identify. So it doesn't mean that you have to have a certification. That is not one of the requirement documents that you have to submit. But if you identify as a minority or a woman owned business, then you would just answer that question appropriately.
Okay, sounds
That's
good.
a good question. And
Yes,
also,
yes.
the only time you would get look for trainers that are outside of Chicago is if the particular training that you're seeking would not be offered in Chicago.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Thank you. Now, I don't see any other hands raised. I hope everyone, first of all, let me wish everybody a happy new year and great luck with this grant. I want everybody to apply. I want to look at everybody's applications coming in and help you guys. My staff is here to support you and help you if you have any questions. Like I said, if you start filling out the grant application and you run into difficulties or questions, call us. We can see your application and draft form. We can answer your questions. We can make sure that you have a great application to put in front of the city. So don't feel like you cannot reach out and talk to us. So let our staff be that support for you moving forward. Thank you guys who asked your questions, both in the chat and came off mic. We look forward to all of you all submitting an application for the Workforce Solutions Grant. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your year. I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you all. All right. Thank you. We're going to sign off now and end it. Email us your addresses, and we will be there to support. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Thank you.